Hello, everybody. This is Shelley Duplessis again from Strong Future Gens. I've been having such a good time recently just talking to people about their life stories and how they have come to be in the place that they find themselves right at the moment. And today I have another guest, and her name is Silvia Erasmus. She is based in Johannesburg, but Silvie, welcome. Thanks for
Thank you so
joining me.
much. Such an honor.
Won't you please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
So, my name is Silvia Erasmus, and though I have this Afrikaans lekker surname, I am actually Slovakian. I come from a beautiful country in Central Europe called Slovakia, and I've been living in South Africa now for almost 18 years, married to Mr. Erasmus, who is English-speaking Erasmus. So, yeah, there won't be any Afrikaans happening on the Zoom. It will be pure English. I can do Slovak for you guys if you want. But
Greet us in Slovak and just say hi to us. That would be wonderful.
yeah, hello, ahojte všetci. I'm 38 years old, and I'm a wife to my husband and a mommy to my beautiful 3 girls that are 11 and 9 and 7. So we are all in primary school at the moment, and it's been, what can I say? What a season! What a season! So I've been stretched on every level, having girls at home for 5 months, homeschooling them because school was closed. At the moment, they are rotating at school, so we always have someone at home, someone at school. It's all right. I also am a worker for my husband. I do the administration for his business, his roof business. And for 2 years now, I'm also an owner of Silvie's Cakes and Cupcakes little business, which I started, I would say by faith, 2 years ago. So yeah, that's me. Other than that, I am passionate about exercise. I finished my K-Fit this morning, and I started this 2 months ago, and I'm loving it very much. But I've always, actually, since I had my children, I started to take care of myself physically with exercising and nutrition and all of that, because it just really helps me, because my life is hectic. My life is very full. I like to say fruitful, not so much busy, but it's fruitful. I also am involved in my church. I love people, and me and my husband, we run fellowship, and we are part of worship team, and weekly we encounter people and help people and walk with people. So yes, our lives are beautifully colorful, full.
They are full, and I must admit that I've been wonderfully hosted in your home many times, and you really do have a lovely family. You currently live in the Johannesburg area, and Sylvie, I'm going to ask you, this colorful life of yours took a turn for, I don't want to say for the worst, but it took a turn that left you facing certain challenges. Of course, with the recession, your husband has his own business, and you slowly started to see things slowing down in that area, to the point where you were suddenly faced with the idea of having to leave home, leave your girls, and go to work. Now, as we've looked at 2020, it's been labeled the year of great loss. Many people have lost income, lost loved ones, and things like that. But won't you just share with us how you actually came to the place where you realized that you could bake yummy, yummy cakes, and there was a demand for it. Other busy mummies want cupcakes for birthdays and birthday cakes and things like that. Tell us a little how you journeyed that through, and what does it cost you?
All right. So maybe I would like to just give you a bit of background, that I actually never baked a cake until 2 years and 3 months ago. I've just never been the kitchen girl. But obviously, when children came along, I started to getting more busy in the kitchen because, you know, you need to feed them, and you got to
I'm
give
glad
them
you
the
need to feed
nutrition.
them.
And for years, I would order cakes and cupcakes from, you know, other resources. Just I would outsource it for the parties. Though I always specially prepare the parties and the details. I was always, you know, on it. I have photos. I have everything of these parties, and um, then I thought, you know, it would be so precious. I always just watched some mummies when they made a cake for their kids, how precious it is, because you kind of like, I don't know, there's just that connection between the child and the mommy when you say, mommy made me a cake. I remember that, you know what, actually, when it was my 25th birthday, and I was already in South Africa, I had a breakdown crying that my mom cannot make me a birthday cake, because it was always something that she poured herself into, is to make me a cake for my birthday. And so my daughter was turning 9, and I'm like, let me make this cake at least once in my life for her. So I did, and for some reason everybody raved about this cake. It was a one recipe that just, I got such a good response. And then a friend of mine asked me, would you bake a cake for my son? And then I baked the cake for her son, and she actually left me a message saying, you know what, we actually went to Mug and Bean to have a chocolate millionaire cake, and it compares nothing to yours. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, it can't be truth, you know. It was just like a miraculous thing. I couldn't understand it, but I was just getting this confident, well, this acknowledgement from people, and not really believing it myself. And in that SMS, she actually said, you should start doing something. You should start doing this for, start baking for people. Start small, but start something. And this was in August, 2 years ago. And in September, regarding to our business, it came to that place where my husband has a roofing business, where things were tough. At a time, we had to put our house on the market. I mean, we've lived a wonderful lives, and we've been grateful to, a few years back, we bought this beautiful house with big trees and pool where we were able to host you, Shelley, and many more. We always had a full house, and we really believe that this is our destination. This house has been given to us so we can do so many things with it, you know. And we also have kids in a very cozy private school, which we loved, and we were convinced that this is what our girls deserve, and this is what we want. And it's true, they did deserve it. It was wonderful. But now we came to that place where we could not afford it. We could not afford this house. We could not afford this school. And it was rough, because I could see this internal battle in my husband's life, where he wants to give these things to us. He wants me to be with my girls. Just to tell you, that was always my heart's desire. You know, when I fell pregnant, for the first time, I knew I'm going to resign. I worked in the Standard Bank for 5 years before I had children. And I always knew I want to be with my girls. I just wanted to be around with them and see them grow up. And it's actually been very, very important to me. And 2 years ago, facing this situation, my husband, out of desperation, actually, he said to me, you either start doing something, or you need to start looking for a job. Actually, that's what he said. He said, we're not coping. And I could see the brokenness in his heart, because he knew that I don't want to go into the office. I don't want to go work anywhere. I want to be with the girls. But at that time, our house was still on the market. It wasn't sold. So we were still carrying a burden of a huge expense. And I cried.
Sure.
I cried, and I cried out to God. I'm like, I got to do something. And it came back to me again. The season, the timing was just perfect, when that friend was telling me to start doing something with my baking. And I just remember sitting in my lounge that night, or it was either that night after my husband really just confronted me with the thought of something's got to happen. I sat in the lounge, day after that or the day, it doesn't matter. And it just like 10 o'clock at night, it just like came upon me like, do it. Go design your stuff, do it. And I went to computer and I spent 2 hours just designing my little pamphlets and thinking about how many cupcakes, how much, and the cakes. And I started very, very small, just putting these things together, knowing that I'm going to bring it to my very good friend who is going to bring some life to it and shape to it. But that was the beginning. It was the night when I kind of like, I can do it. It was like, I got like, do it, you can do it. Now, please understand, that was at the time, I baked my first cake 3 months before that. So I'm just about to walk out of the boat onto the water because I don't even know, I just really don't know much. Yet I think when I look back, I didn't allow that to stop me to walk out, you know, because it would be great if I could predict or know everything or be experienced in it. And you know, I mean, once I launched, every call or every SMS I would get, I would consult with my friend. And this was such a blessing in my life that I had someone who knew what they were doing when it came to cake. So I could rely on them. And when I would get a picture of the cake that was sent to me, I could run to this person and I say, can I do this? And I actually got an order for this wedding cake. And I was like, I don't think I can. And I went to her and I said, what do you think? And she says, of course you can. You know, and that was, I think, another important thing is, one thing is to walk out of the boat. And the other one is have people, surround yourself with people that you can run to help you when you are doubting yourself. Because never ever in my life would I have thought that now 2 years later, I would have a profile of over 200 cakes baked, thousands and thousands of cupcakes done of different themes. And I just never knew I needed to fulfill that creative part of me. Now, I'm not a painter. I'm not an artist. I play piano, which is a great fulfillment in my life, which also happened later in my life. When I was very young, I danced. My mom took me to piano and I refused. She said to me that I need to practice. I said to her, I'm not practicing. She said to me, if you're not practicing, you must leave home. So I was 7 years old when I packed my bags and left home because I didn't want to play piano. That's just another story. But then she agreed because she found me by the street lamp and told me, okay, you don't have to play piano. So that was at the age of 7. But then at age of 20, I started having this desire to play piano. And that's when I reflect on my life. That was one of the also amazing things that happened in my life. My husband bought me a keyboard and I just learned to play piano on my own. And I actually am enjoying playing so much. It's been years and years that I've been playing now. So yeah, it's just hold on a second. Not now, my angel. Not now. Please sort yourself out, okay? I'm so sorry. That's my daughter because this is life, you know, and
it's disruptive and it just comes.
That's right.
Crosses over.
So yeah, so okay, quickly just to wrap up this thing. So the piano came, but I'm not like an artist, you know, I'm not arty crafty, but I find when I decorate that cake, it's such a fulfillment to me. And I get these pictures of what else can I do, and it's really fulfilling. It's really fulfilling. But let me tell you, it's a hard work, and that was the part that you were actually asking about, and I didn't respond to that. So let me tell you, it's been costly. It has been very costly because I decided I'm willing to pay the price of late nights and early mornings doing my work, and sometimes waking up 2, 3 in the morning because ESCOM, load shedding. Sorry, now we get confused in this country.
That's all
Load shedding, lockdown, we got it all. So, sometimes there's load shedding and there's cake to be finished. And so there were times when I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, and I pushed through and I finished stuff. And there were nights when I woke up my husband 1 o'clock at night crying that my tear fell down. And my husband would come and sit with me and help me to fix this cake, make me coffee. It's wonderful. I'm very grateful that I have a man who supports me. You see, I support him because I do his admin for his business. And then he supports me at the beginning when I started. He would just come home and from bakery shop and buy all these things which I don't need or I didn't know I needed. He would just Google things to improve my business because he was supporting me and he was appreciating that I'm putting my bit above being a mother, running household, trying my best, So it's been a costly journey, and I count the cost, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because being with my girls, being able to be around them when they come back from school, being able to fetch them, I'm living my dream.
Mm.
If I would be somewhere in a workplace where I cannot see them, I can maybe provide for them in a different way, but that would break my heart much more than just having broken sleep, despite the fact that I don't have babies anymore. My sleep is still in a threat because I never know. And also I'm learning, it's really been busy. I've been having this increase of orders and I need wisdom how to handle it. I don't have extra hands. I do everything myself. So yeah, my husband will be coming home. Supper is already ready, but I am mixing a dough and I'm popping it in the oven. It's just this normal situation in this house. And after the Zoom call, I'm going to finish my cake because I've been blessed. In the 3 weeks ago, actually, I've been asked to supply my cream cheese carrot cake to newly opened coffee shop in the area. And it's the orders just been coming every week. I get an order, so I'm super excited because it's a way to make this, and just doing my best.
Silvie, just listening to you, sometimes we are presented with something that we're almost afraid of taking hold of, the possibility. And as I listen to you, not ever having baked a cake, I must admit, I have cake envy because I can't make cakes and I've been trying to bake for years. So the fact that you started with what you had in your hands, this is what I have, and I'm going to try and use that to participate in the family affairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, for other ladies especially who might be sitting in a place of wondering where to from here, I'm sure that as they sit and contemplate what they have in their hands, they too could find something that they are suddenly good at, or you have a skill, or you have a talent, or you have a something that you can employ. Silvie, you couldn't do this on your own, and I heard you say earlier that you had a very good friend who I know is very creative and has helped you journey this journey. But who else along the journey of your life has been responsible for putting stuff into you, for encouraging you? I think we tend to live as islands and keep ourselves very private, and perhaps we're offended when people want to help us. But have you had
Yeah.
special people who've been in your life, or one special person?
You know what? I think the part of this success is definitely the way I was brought up. And I find that in nowadays society lacks a lot. And the way I was brought up is to work hard and to never give up and always be responsible for your actions. You know, take responsibility for what you're doing or not doing. And I think we live in a society where people are just, you know, they just expect things to happen to them, but they're not willing to put in the work.
Yes.
And I think you got to surround yourself with the culture of hard work. So you got to surround yourself with the people who will tell you, you know what, you're doing great. I know it cost you, but just keep on going. The fruit of it will come. You know, and one of these people in my life, well, it would be my parents, obviously, because they taught me, they showed me, you know, how to live life. I mean, I was exchange student in South Africa at age of 16. That's how I came here, in case, you know, people are wondering. I was exchange student, and then I fell in love with South Africa, and I went back home, and then I came back for a visit and fell in love with my husband, and at age of 20 we got married by faith. Yeah, and it's been an amazing journey. But you know, my parents always believed in me, and even them releasing me at the age of 19 to leave my home and come to this country, to an unknown. I left university. They trusted me because they brought me up well, because they taught me to be independent. I worked since age of 14. I did different promotions. I would stand for hours in the macro serving coffee to people, smiling when my feet were freezing. I for hours did promotions on the washing powders, and I'm not going to name all the products that I advertised. But you know, since my early age, there's been a strong work ethic, and I earned money to come to South Africa the second time. First time my dad paid for everything, but when I wanted to come second time, I had to, through my school, I had to work during the holidays. While I was studying, then there was opportunity weekends. I work. No spoon feeding, and I thank my parents for this, because this has never left me, and it's lacking in our culture. You know, so my parents definitely the biggest influence, and I am very blessed to say that my husband's work ethic is exactly the same. My husband lockdown was just so hard for him. The 3 weeks that he ended up being at home, you would find him in a garage making woodwork, because he just could not do anything. And yeah, so definitely my husband is a support, and my parents. And obviously having that one friend, I believe it was, you know what, I believe that when we are predestined for something, there will be a way. People will come along. But you know, you need to make that step. So start doing something and be consistent. When the success does not come after a few weeks, don't give up. You know, there were weeks when I would have no orders. None. Nada. And then now I'm grateful when I maybe have a little bit of a break, because to have weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend to produce, it takes extreme juggling and planning. You know, it's because it's not like I do the same thing. You know, it's every cake is unique, and that's what I would like to say. It's, you don't just get a cake, you get a piece of art, piece of love. And that's what I say on my Instagram. I actually say my cake making is work of love. You know, it's giving a cake is giving love, showing love. That's how I feel, because as I shared with Shelley before, I've seen people in tears when they got their cake, because it made them feel so special. how can it be that someone would put so much work and detail into something for me? Um, so I don't know how I got here, but hopefully I answered your question.
You did indeed, and I think you've given us so much to think about. So I'm not even going to ask you the question of what would you say to people who are finding themselves at the start of something new, where they're having to face something that is so scary, possibly. You've said to us, you know, it's been the support, it's been the work ethic, it's been, even though it's frightening, you just keep at it, you nail yourself to the, you know, your colors to the mast, and you keep on keeping on. And Silvie, unfortunately, I'd love to talk to you for some more time, but we've kind of run out of our time. But I think what we have learned in this conversation is that you didn't expect this. You just put your hand out, and I know you have a really strong faith in Jesus, and you know it's almost like something supernatural took place. Now, that's not to say it can't happen for everybody. And so I want to thank you for being honest, for sharing about the hard times. I couldn't imagine baking cake at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's not my best time. And those sacrifices, but you have been willing to sacrifice. And I think that 2020 is going to be a year that everybody is going to have to sacrifice, refocus, transform, and change. And wish you every success, especially with the carrot cake, which I've been looking at on Facebook, and it's truly yummy. I'm just very, very sorry I'm not in the Johannesburg area. Otherwise, I would be.
You must come.
I will certainly hold you to that promise of a slice of carrot cake. But Silvie, to you and to your family, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your life with us. And yeah, may your cakes go from success to success, and every life that you encounter as you bake your cakes, I trust that they will feel that love, as well as just appreciate the artistry that goes into it. So
thank you. Thank you so much. It's been such an honor.
Thank you so much too. And yeah, we just appreciate everything that you've shared with us today. Thanks so much, Silvie. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.